Well, feels good in Aqua. I'm excited to be in Miami. We've had a really good start. Obviously, we're behind a little bit with me coming in after the game, but we've got a lot of really great people in the organization. I feel like we put together a pretty good coaching staff, and those are guys I've kind of leaned on along with Chris and our entire organization. We got a lot of great people there, so it's been a very, I wouldn't call it smooth transition, but it's been a good transition.
Yeah, can you talk about how the guys from New England have, what they've done to help you so far, how having that comfort level helps you?
Well, I think just kind of putting together the staff, I wanted people that are smart, that are mentally tough. I wanted that our staff to kind of reflect what I'd like to see from our team. So smart, tough guys who communicate well. I mean, we ask players to communicate, offense, defense, special teams. So our staff has to be able to communicate that way also. And that was big. That was one of my main objectives as far as putting the staff together. So I'm excited with the group we have, and I've kind of, it's a great group from Jim Caldwell to Danny Crossman to Chad to Josh Grizzard. I mean, all the way across the board. We got a lot of great people, and I've leaned on those guys. I mean, look, this is a team effort all the way across the board. You'll hear me say that on a week-to-week basis. When we're in season, I'm going to say that in the off-season as well. Right now, that team is our coaching staff, our personnel staff, and really the entire organization.
Coach, you mentioned you guys are a little bit behind, but how much does it help to have some familiar faces on your staff that you're comfortable working with?
I think that's very important. I think camaraderie and being able to communicate and be aligned is very important. I think that's something Chris, myself, our coaching staff, our personnel staff. I think we're aligned as far as the type of players we're looking for, the type of team we want to build, and this is obviously this week is a big part of that process.
I'm sure culture is very important with that and taking over a new team. What have you learned from New England to help establish your own type of culture in Miami?
Yeah, like you said, culture is very important. I would say, a lot of the things that, I learned in New England were about putting the team first. I think that was another part of, something that was important to me is putting together a staff and people around me who don't have egos, who work well together. I think that's going to be a big part of what we do in Miami.
Coach, you defended against this team for years. Whenever you look at them from the other side, who do you see on the offense that you see as explosive playmakers?
I think, and I definitely spent a lot of time coaching against this group. But there's definitely a good group of players here, really across the board. Offense, defense, and the kicking game. A lot of this process has been about evaluating our current roster, and that's where it really starts. So you can come to the draft and free agency and all, that's all well and good, but if you don't know what you have, it makes no difference. So we feel good about a lot of our players, and we're going to try to add more pieces to the puzzle and try to put the best product out there possible.
From winning a Super Bowl to taking over a new head coaching job, what has this last month been like for you?
It's been a blur, but it's been fun. It's unfortunate. You can complain about not sleeping, but the opportunity to coach at this great organization and work with the people I'm working with, I wouldn't trade it for anything. So it's been fun. There's always something to do. There's always someone to meet with. There's always a meeting to go to. It feels like there's not enough time, but I'm trying to crunch time right now, and because everything's important.
What has been
Go ahead, Al.
What, if anything, has surprised you in these past couple of weeks?
I can't say I've been surprised by anything. I think I'm, to me, I'm kind of ready for anything, and I'm ready for any and everything. I think we've got some good young talent, some veteran players who display leadership and can help build some of the core values that we want in this team. I think this is a good group, and I'm excited to move forward with them.
When you look at the personnel and defense, the issues that they had last year, what is one thing that needs to get better?
I think we're trying to get better in every area. Pass defense, run defense, kickoff coverage, kick, you know what I mean, punting, like net, everything. So I wouldn't say there's one thing because everything's important. I don't know what's the difference. You know, I always tell people, you know, the difference between getting 4th and 1 and not getting 4th and 1. You know, if you focus on one thing, then that might not be the difference. So you got to, everything's important.
I guess in particular, stopping the run last year was a big issue for this team. What did you see went wrong, or what needs to get better?
Again, I wasn't here last year. I can't speak to, you know, what happened last year. My focus is on what we're trying to accomplish next year, and not even next year, this week. Again, I've always tried to stay present in the moment, not really worry about the past and what's going on there, although I can't sit here and say you don't learn from things that have happened in the past. But you know, last year was last year. We're focused on 2019. And really that process started, you know, when I got off the plane and touched down in Fort Lauderdale. And that's where we're moving forward.
What are some factors that went into the decision? Obviously, it would be collaborative planning effort, but to have Pat call the defense on game day.
Well, again, I would say, you know, Pat is someone I have a lot of respect for. I think he's an incredible coach. I think he's smartest guy in the room, quite honestly. Yale grad. He likes to tell people that. Great friend of mine. We spend a lot of time together. I have a lot of you know, I feel good about him as a coach, him as a teacher, but I feel great about, you know, our entire coaching staff, from Chad to Pat to Danny to Jim to you know, Pat Flaherty. I mean, I think we put together a pretty strong staff. Eric Studesville, Tony Oden, but you know, Pat's, you know, I'm very confident in his ability as a play caller, but it's a collaborative effort. It really is. You know, having done it for a year, I know that it's not just one person, you know, making the calls. It's, you know, you're getting thoughts, comments, help, really. You know, that's the word, from, you know, various, you know, people, whether it's, you know, the corners coach or the safeties coach or the head coach. So it's definitely a collaborative effort. You know, this is a team game all the way, through and through, from a coaching staff to the personnel staff to the, you know, and that kind of filters down into the team, you know, on Sundays or Mondays or Thursdays. I mean, that's always kind of the hallmark of, you know, how I want our team to be built, and I want that displayed on a day-to-day basis.
Brian, when new staff come here, would it be ideal with a new staff to have a rookie quarterback that you can mold?
I think we got to be ready for, you know, any and all situations, and I think, you know, that's if that's the situation, then that's the situation. I think, you know, we're always developing players. So we're developing rookies, we're developing second-year players, we're developing seventh-year players. I think, you know, we're in a business where everyone's got to, you know, we're all looking to improve. As players, that's coaches, that's personnel people, that's equipment managers, that's, you know, the nutritionists. We're all trying to improve. So I know you say develop a rookie. I'm trying to develop everyone. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully that answers your question.
Brian, with you and Pat running the defense and Chad O'Shea as the offensive coordinator, do you envision trying to be like the Patriots on both sides of the football, doing what you guys did there?
Right now, my vision is really focused on this week and the players at this draft, and trying to get to know these guys, and again, like, this part of the process is so vital, so important. You know, as far as getting to know these players, their strengths, their weaknesses, you know, how they fit with our team, and then, you know, we'll get to that. You know, the play calling, who's doing this, who's that. And when we get to that, obviously that's something we're working towards also. But right now, you know, the focus right now is on these players at the combine.
Brian, on a personal level, what's it like for you being as a head coach?
It's incredible. It's a dream come true. But at the same time, you know, and I've had this conversation with many people, you know, I'm never going to feel like I arrived. You know, this isn't the finish line. This is the start line for me. I'm excited to be in this position, but at the same time, I know that there's a lot of work to be done in all areas. You know, we're always all trying to improve on a day-to-day basis. You know, we want to build a tough team, a smart team, a team that can play under pressure. Our players need to know that. You know, the entire organization needs to know that. We're going to work towards that every day. try to bring in as many great people in the organization as we can. So if you embody the qualities that we're looking for, if you're mentally tough, if you're smart, you're very intelligent, if you communicate well, if you put the team first, if football is very important to you, you probably got a shot of being a part of what we're trying to accomplish, and that's across the board. That's not just coaching. That's from the top down. And Chris and I are aligned with that in mind. Those are the type of people we want in the building.
Brian, with your evaluations with Chad and Jim, where does Ryan Tannehill fit in the mix for you guys moving forward?
Right now everything's kind of in process. I've been here 3.5 weeks. So again, we've gone through the evaluations of the roster. Everything's in process. We still have time. Obviously we've made some evaluations, but we've still got time to make those decisions. Having played against Ryan, he's had some success against me personally. I think of the last game we played. So he's done a really good job. But those things are in process right now. We haven't made any final decisions. Everything's on the table. Chris and I are aligned on that. And again, we've talked about the types of guys we want in our program, and it's that part of it as far as the evaluations and getting everybody on the same page has been good.
What did it mean for you to have that Super Bowl and to go out in your Patriots performance, in that stage and that performance, and what it all looked like?
It was great, but again, it happened quickly. It's almost like it didn't happen, quite honestly, with all that's gone on. I watched it briefly. I thought the guys played well, and again, it's a testament to the players. The credit goes to them. They practiced hard, they played hard, they played with the discipline and the toughness and the team-first attitude that that I've talked about already this morning, and they reaped the benefits of that. And but that happened, and it was over. I was on a plane, and I've been in Florida since, and I'm enjoying my time right now in Teal. That's.
Obviously, you've got the familiar faces on the staff. Is it important to bring in players that you've coached before as well?
I think it's important to bring in players who are going to play our style and do the things that. Well, first I would say bring the culture and bring the leadership and the toughness and the intelligence that we're looking for. So I don't care where that player comes from. And hopefully we'll find a good number of them this week. So it's all part of the process. And again, this week is so important because you get to know these guys, and we're not going to be able to pick every guy we like. I understand that, but we get to know them, and maybe down the line, this conversation that was had here just kind of helps our process 2-3 years from now. Oh, we talked to so and so at the combine. That was a good interview. He's available. You know what I mean? Things like that. This is all important. Not just for right now, but in the future.
Have you been able to get in contact with Brandon and Danny at all since you've gone to Miami? Holden and Gold?
I have not. But again, two guys who were incredible in New England. Guys I have a lot of respect for, who embody a lot of the principles, core values that I believe are essential to winning. Hey, Cameron. I've watched a good number of them. They are it's a good group. Again, it's the evaluation's still up. It's still ongoing. We'll meet a group of them this week, and that's a big part of the evaluation. Again, we'll kind of we won't be able to pick them all. We know that. But we'll go through the evaluation process. We've kind of this right now. We've kind of talked about the types of players we're looking for, and you guys have already heard it. We want them smart. We want them tough, mentally and physically. We want them fundamentally sound. We want them to be able to play under pressure. We want to be able to coach them hard, because this is going to be a demand. This is a demanding league, so we got to be demanding on our players. They need to understand that. I mean, you could look at the stats. You could probably figure that out on your own. But look, each quarterback's a little bit different. You know, they have their own strengths, their strengths, weaknesses. You know, guys who are mobile, that's a strength. Guys who have great accuracy, that's definitely a strength. Those are, you know, kind of qualities that, you know, it's just standard things you're looking for. Guys who are accurate, guys with leadership, command of the offense. You know, I think that's definitely a quality you'd want in your quarterback. Mobility's great, but every player's a little bit different. Every player's a little bit different. I think he had a phenomenal year this year. He's a great athlete. I think he's a very good player.
Brian, you just said earlier a lot of quotes that we've heard many times at Bill Belichick press conferences. Last year, before he started that team. Is that intentional, or does he just sort of rub off on you and any of the coaches on that?
I think last year was last year. If we focus on, maybe it does rub off. Maybe it's something I feel like, you know, there's some good in that. You know, if we focus on last year, then we're not focused on this year. And if I would hate to take away from, you know, this year's team, focus on whatever happened a year ago. And if I'm copying Bill, then I guess I'm copying Bill in that situation. No.
At all or not?
No.
Has anyone between Bill or Josh McDaniels or Bill O'Brien or anyone, many Patriots guys have gone on to become head coaches, has anyone given you good advice or helped you navigate through situations?
I've talked to, you know, a few different guys. They said it would be a blur. They said it'd be a whirlwind. It'd happen fast. You'd have a lot to do. You wouldn't have enough time. But the big thing they've all said is to be yourself, to stick to your core values, to stick to the things that are important to you, which I've tried to do to get good people around you. I've tried to do that. And to always be true to who you are. So.
A couple more questions, guys.
I'm glad you asked that. I just wanted to, John Wooten with the Fritz Potter Alliance was incredible to me during my process as far as the head coaching search and that whole situation. So he's been a dear friend, a mentor. He's stepping down this year, so I just wanted to kind of, you know, publicly thank him and thank the Fritz Pollard Alliance for all they do for minority coaches. He was great to me, and I think that, you know, that's something that's near and dear to my heart. I think there's a lot of very capable coaches in this league, and you know, whatever I can do to help those guys get an opportunity, I'm all for it.
Last question.
I'm excited to have Coach Caldwell. He's been a great resource. He's been someone, you know, a sounding board, along with, you know, some other guys on our staff, whether it's Danny to Pat Graham to Chad, but, you know, Jim specifically. You know, he's definitely been a sounding board and somebody. Again, he's done it. So, hey, what'd you do, you know, in this situation, you know, when you were wherever you were? So it's something that was, you know, important to me to have someone like that on staff. Again, if I'm going to tell my team not to have egos, it's got to start with me. So I don't have an ego from that standpoint, and he's been really great to work with.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Sorry, guys. Thank you.